Okay, so what we will look at is Poonthanam, a great devotee of the Lord of Guruvayur. Especially, a very interesting story is, it seems that Poonthanam, that's why in the Arati also we have Poonthana Bhakta Priya Krishna Vrindavana Rasika Premika Bhavuka Mandala Pujita Pada Saroja Yuga Krishna Jaya Jagadisha Hare. We chant, right? So, Poonthanam, it seems that he had a very good connection with Bhagavatam also. Now there is a temple, if you go to Uttara Kerala. In Kerala you have a temple of our Lord Shiva, it seems, in Kotiur. The name of the place is Kotiur. And it is believed that Dakshayagam, that was there, the Prajapati Daksha's sacrifice was performed here. And in those times it seems that the temple, like the Shabarimala temple, maybe you can consider in today's times, is kept open for a few days, right, in a month or so, or a few days in a year. And apart from that, no human activities also used to take place. No, you can say people, pilgrims, devotees used to not come and so on. That's when Poonthanam, he reaches this Kotiur temple. Nearby there is a river also, he takes bath there. And he used to worship Lord Shiva for a few days or so, he stays there. And what he does was, every day it seems that he used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam, it seems, in front of the deity, right? And that's when in the 10th chapter you have a part which is called as Karihichit. Karihichit is wherein, what exactly is this, you can say, instance of Karihichit in Srimad Bhagavatam is wherein Krishna, he asks Rukmini Devi that, why did you get married to me? What qualities do you see in me? I'm just a mere coward, I'm just a Gopalaha. And if you had married Shishupala, you would have lived a better life than now, because he was a king of Chedi Raja. He is popularly called as a Chedi Raja also. Hearing this, it seems that Rukmini Devi, she faints and she falls down, and later Bhagavan consoles her. Now this part that is there is called popularly as Karhichit in Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is described very beautifully. You have a lot of meanings also, deep discussion takes place. And it seems that Poonthanam, he finished reading this part of the chapter and he had kept the bookmark there, it seems. Next day what happens is, at the beginning of the same chapter, that bookmark was kept. Poonthanam was a bit surprised. He thought, yesterday only I had finished this part, again why it is there? He just ignored it and again he started reading from the beginning, it seems, the same part for the second time. Similarly, every day this thing used to happen. He used to read this Karhichit portion every day. He used to keep the bookmark at the end of the chapter. Again, next day when he used to come to the temple, he found that the bookmark was kept at the beginning of the chapter. For many days or so, the same thing happened. And but still, Poonthanam, what he did was, every day he used to read the same portion that is there, like where the bookmark was kept. Finally, as I told you, there were only few days when the temple was open. It was the last day for the temple to close for that year. And Poonthanam was returning back from the temple with other fellow devotees that were there. That's when he remembered that he had left Srimad Bhagavatam back in the temple only. That's when he goes back immediately. He had to cross a river in between and so on. That's when the temple was already closed and he was all alone there. And that's when it seems that he could hear someone, it seems, who was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, that to the same part which he used to read every day. Now there were small holes also, and as he looked into the peephole, it seems that Lord Shiva himself was reading this portion from Poonthanam's book, it seems, and the other Bhutaganas of Shiva as well as Goddess Parvati, they were all witness to the reading of Shiva, and it seems that they were listening to this recital of Srimad Bhagavatam. And their eyes that were there, they were shedding tears of devotion, it seems. In bhakti, they were crying out. That's when Poonthanam there, he stood there, he didn't understand what was happening. He listens to the whole recitation that is there, he stands there motionless. And at the end, it seems that Shiva, he asks Parvati, was my reading as good as Poonthanam? That's when Parvati Devi also tells that it was not as good as Poonthanam, but still it's okay. Now, reading to the recital of Shiva, all of them started shedding tears, and they say that Poonthanam's reading of the Bhagavatam was more better than Lord Shiva also. So just imagine what kind of bhakti he had. Hearing this, it seems that Poonthanam, who was listening to this conversation, he faints. He was surprised and loudly he calls out to Narayana. And again when he recollects, that is when he comes back from this trance or so, he watches again, everyone had disappeared. Shiva, Parvati, all the Bhutaganas had all gone away. And this is when he comes to know that every day it seems that Lord Shiva used to read the same recital from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it was Lord Shiva who used to keep the bookmark at the beginning of the chapter every time, it seems. And so this was how this is one incident wherein it shows Poonthanam's devotion that he had. Moreover, this instance also shows that there is no Vedam between Shaivism, Vaishnavism. Shiva is the greatest devotee of Vishnu, Vaishnavaha, Parama Vaishnavaha. Similarly, Vishnu also is the greatest devotee of Shiva. And there is no Vedam at all. You have Srimad Bhagavatam reference, Kurma Puranam reference. Like this, there are different references that are there. This is also one story that is there. So this story shows that the Lord, he places his true devotees much higher than himself also. That's the reason here Lord Shiva, he gives due credit and tells Poonthanam, in fact he tells Parvati Devi herself tells Shiva that Poonthanam's reading is much great. And with this story what we conclude is Satsangam that is there is the best way to attain pure bhakti that is there. And luckily it seems that there are many sages also in Bharatadesha, many great souls who are there. When we worship them, or like Poonthanam, when we listen to their glories also, even bhakti in us also increases. Yeah. So with this we will stop here.